One of the things I love about great leaders is that they have two characteristics which fascinate me and inspire me. The first characteristic is the characteristic of humility. Great leaders, inspiring leaders, are humble enough to really understand themselves. The second leadership trait I love is courage. Great leaders have courage. They're brave enough to go for it, to step out of their comfort zones. So for the next 2 hours, we are going to be focusing on high-performing teams. Why are we going to be focusing on high-performing teams? Well, yesterday we heard from your chairman about your strategy of optimizing your core business, extending your core business, and building a new business. And high-performing teams will be one of the most critical elements of you achieving that strategy. I am delighted that today we've got one of the world's best brass quintets with you today. These players are seriously good. They are the principals of some of the leading orchestras in London, the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, the Philharmonia Orchestra. They are absolutely amazing, and they are going to blow your socks off. We want you to research this high-performing team and think, what insights are you getting from how they do it, which you then can apply back in your workplace. But I want more for you from today. I want you to know what it is you're wanting to learn. What is your biggest personal challenge as a leader or as a team player? And now I'm going to ask you to do something with that challenge, and I want you to turn it into what I call a catalyst question. This is the key question which will act as a catalyst for you to move forward. And the process that we're going to follow is we are going to immerse ourselves in the music, and you are going to make very close observations about what you are looking at, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and what you're thinking about. We're going to then start helping you make the connections back to DP World.
The observation was that the role that Jason played was he played a very observing role because he had to watch the others at the timing of he was coming in. The other is he has a different shed of music than the others, and he has to then listen to where they are at that piece of time for him to come in and out as he played.
There was a lot of multitasking. They were using their hands, they were using their eye contact, and then they were listening, so all of this in synchronization.
They've obviously practiced this hundreds and hundreds of hours. The music is the natural thing. It's the actual execution of the instrument. That's
very good.
The hard part.
I need 2 more volunteers to come up, and I want you to notice what differences you are hearing as you walk around, and I want you to notice what you're seeing as well.
It sounded totally different in each of the locations.
It sounded totally different in each location?
Yes.
Thank you very much. This is a key point. The orchestra sounds different depending where you're sat in it. Great conductors know this. They know that it sounds different, and they have the ability to lead their people knowing that the experience of their people is different from their experience. And the experience of the French horn, where they're sat, is different from the experience of the trombones. So Jason, James has the big moment in that piece.
Yeah.
Would you kind of like that big moment?
To be honest, I'd much rather have a supporting role and watch someone that I admire and, you know, and hear someone perform like that. So I'd much rather the 4 of us can play a supporting role in what he's doing.
Here is the principal trumpeter of the Philharmonia Orchestra in London, someone who is incredibly gifted, but actually he is willing to lower himself. But that is what humility is about.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like taking the baton. When people came up and stood in between us, you could see when we kind of have our different roles to play, and we have to move between those kind of seamlessly.
Amazing grace for the whole four of them to have grace for James as he leads and inspires. What are you going to take away and how are you going to apply it in your space?
A few things. The most important man in the team is not necessarily the leader. That sometimes you have to see who is the best for this situation and give him the responsibility.
Thank you very much for that insight.
And if I may, one more, the leader doesn't play the most complex instrument.
To perform together correctly, it's a painful process sometimes. It will require a lot of feedback, a lot of adjustments. People might not be happy, people will be happy. But at the end, the result is shown in a magnificent product that is bringing joy to everybody. But there's a lot of effort that was done behind this.
Lovely, great, thank you. I love that point about the amount of effort behind it. We haven't even talked about how long these guys practice for. One challenge I have for any business is how do you practice? Thank you very much to Superbrass. Absolutely privileged to be with you today. Thank you so much. I wish you well as you move off and back to your businesses and really transform your teams to be a high-performing team, even more high-performing team, such as this team here. Thank you very much indeed.